Do you treat your dog as part of the family? Well, so do we. So why not celebrate your pup's birthday with the ultimate party box? Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Party Pup Info, and let us make your pup's party or any celebration perfection.
M&J Video Games and Collectibles, sport and non-sport cards, wrestling items, autographed items. We buy, sell, and trade. M&J Video Games and Collectibles, located at 1049 Queen Street, Southington, Connecticut. Call us at 1-860-479-9223 or 860-93-GAMES. M&J Video Games and Collectibles.
Anyway, with Phil Brooks,
His name is not Phil Brooks, it's CM Punk. How many times do I have to repeat this to you? I'm sick of time. What the hell's that?
I don't know.
I think somebody's at the door. Hey.
You can't even film stuff without people knocking.
Well, you know, that's the way of the world. Who is it?
But don't start personally insulting me.
Huh?
But don't start personally insulting me.
Hannibal! Ah! Oh, no! Not that way! There!
Thinking it over, the things you said to me. Started with something, with nothing, now we leave. So you were with me for a while, but now you're gone. And you know, wherever you go, I'm not far behind. I'm not far behind. Starting all over. Too many times we tried, pulling us under. Our time's been swept aside. So you were with me for a while, but now you're gone. And you know, wherever you go, I'm not far behind. I'm not far behind. Oh.
Hey, what's going on there? Much love, peeps. Welcome to In the Dungeon. Matty Rock here with the Reinforcer, Andrew Anderson, the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. And on today's episode, we would like to welcome special guest, AJ Caprio of Integrated Pain Management in Rutherford, New Jersey. Much love, my brother. Appreciate you being on the show this evening.
Thank you, brother. It means a lot for having me. Thank you very much.
What's up, AJ? How you doing, my brother?
Doing well, my man. Doing well. How you doing?
You know the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. Kev.
Yeah, we met in what was it? The big event?
Oh, Chiller
Chiller Theater.
Yeah. Yep. We've had a great time. Everything going. Thank you for being on the show, AJ.
Yeah, it's funny. When I conversated with you that day, I had to go get a geography map, and I pride myself being good on geography. When you told me where you lived in Washington, I never heard of that fucking place. It took me 15 minutes to find on a map when I went home and Googled it, but now I know where you live after you described it to me that day.
I don't know if I like the sound of that. He's like, just to let you know, I know where you live.
It's a long commute from where I am in New Jersey. That's for sure.
Yeah, sure is. And
So,
you
Matt,
to get
tell the fans how you and I met.
So WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans. We were at the JW Marriott Hotel. Great party city, New Orleans, but just great atmosphere at the bar right before you walk out on Bourbon Street. I want to say it was the Sunday of Mania, and I'm walking with one of my crazy buddies, Alex, and we see Drew, and we see his buddy Mustang Mike, who's built like fucking Ravishing Rick Rude. First thing my friend Alex says is, "Holy shit." He goes, "Where can I buy juice so I can look like you?" And Mustang, in his calm accent, was like, "I don't got any juice, but I got T-shirts you could buy." The buddy says, "Yeah, that's good." So we want to buy T-shirts, started bullshitting. And after we meet Drew, we found out he was from New Jersey, got a lot of mutual friends, and started bullshitting. He told me one of the funniest, sickest fucking stories I ever heard in my life. That, I remember meeting this guy out yesterday, the day before. The guy was smoking little cigar. Guy was about 3'5", midget guy. He's with Drew and Greg the Hammer Valentine. He's walking around, just fucking chain smoking this fucking thing. This is a weird looking. I'm just doing the weird looking. Forget about that. I'm not worried about what it looks like.
Give me the midget.
Yeah, strange guy. So Drew tells me a story about how the guy's on a sleep app machine. So that's all right. A lot of people on sleep app machines. He said the guy was fucking being such a pain in the ass and the machine was making so much noise. He took the mask off this poor midget's face, farted in the fucking mask, put the mask back on his face, and the guy fucking woke up like he was fucking dying, choking and everything. And God forgive me for laughing, but I loved you ever since that story.
His exact words were, "I gotta wash this thing. It smells like shit." Me and Mustang were that covers up like little kids laughing hysterically.
Since you told me that story, I've loved you, brother.
True story. We've been friends ever since. And I was at the bar. You were sitting doing shots with Mustang, and I brought Ricky Morton. Me and Ricky Morton and Craig Massey were out there freaking pounding the freaking tequila and vodka. So,
you guys could drink, and that's the right city to drink in. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Great city. I love New Orleans. Great.
After about 6 or 7 hurricanes, you could light your own piss on fire. Yeah, that's magic.
6 or 7 hurricanes, you go home with diabetes.
Now the real reason why we have you on the show, not only because you're a friend, you're a wrestling. We'll talk about your wrestling collection, your fandom of your major league fandom of and love of the sport of wrestling. But the most important thing that you're doing is providing some of the wrestlers and other athletes from the NFL, from collegiate football, from collegiate wrestling, high school wrestlers, high school football players, track and field people all over the East Coast with groundbreaking stem cell injections and exosomes, which I'm living proof that they work. So tell us a little bit about integrated pain management, about your dad, the phenomenal, the genius, the wonderful Dr. Angelo Caprio, and tell Kevin about what we are going to be doing to him to get him more mobile.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start. I'll give you I could talk for 4 hours about it. I'll give you the quick story. So you can tell from sitting down, but my 6 foot, 275 pound physique isn't meant for playing softball. So my neighbor calls me up. They're short of players. He says, "Hey, you want to come play softball?" I really didn't want to play, but I said, "You know what? It's just get out of the house. Go out and drink at the bar after. Sure, I'll play." Go out, swung the bat one time, hit a line drive single up the middle, tore my bicep. I want to say it was a 6 centimeter gap in my arm. I had the biggest gap, among the biggest gaps the surgeon had ever seen. So I was looking around. I was going to go see a 66-year-old surgeon, great surgeon, but I had been researching stem cells. This was in 2019. I want to say it was June 2019. So I go. A friend told me about a physician that was 31 years old, Dr. Jacobs, out of Paramus, New Jersey. Just a beautiful person, inside out, great person. She talks me into having the surgery, and she says, "Hey, before I stitch you up, we're going to inject you with a cc of stem cells." And I said, "Well, this is exactly what I'm looking for." So I heard nightmare stories about after having the surgery, you couldn't lift weights, you couldn't do stuff. It was going to take you forever. I can honestly tell you, the doctor said 4 to 5 weeks after the surgery, I'd be lucky to get the bar, a 45-pound bar, down to my chest. I have a video somewhere of me benching 225 I want to say it was 29 or 30 days after having bicep surgery. Not to brag about the weight or anything. It was just I couldn't believe it because I'd seen guys wearing the brace on their arm for 4 or 5 months. And I mean, 29 days to be able to get back in the gym. I mean, I didn't tell her how heavy I went. I told her, I might have told her I did 95 pounds or something like that. But anyway, I just couldn't believe it. So then I went and had both of my biceps, both of my shoulders done. I had a L4, L5, L5S1 problem. And then after researching it, I said, you know what? My father had 4 strokes. He's a surgeon. He's had 4 strokes from when he was 50 till he was about 65 years old. And I wanted to help him out. I wanted to take care of him. So after I spoke to the doctor, she says, listen, she hadn't done much research about it, but she says, I'll do an IV on your father. I'll inject him in both of his hips. He had a problem walking. When I tell you, and I swear to God on my family, he leaves the office that day, threw his cane in the garbage. And he said, the only reason I'm not throwing the one out in my car is because one of his good friends gave it to him and it was worth money. So, but anyway, he threw out the cane he had been walking with in the dumpster. Yep. Hasn't used it since. He at the time was the CMO of Holyoke Hospital in Holyoke, Massachusetts. I said to him, you know, this is unbelievable. We couldn't believe the results. So anyway, just by chance, my Uncle Mike, great guy, and his 2 partners, Robbie and John Brewer, decided to start a stem cell company just by chance. Robbie and Mike, tremendous business guys. John is phenomenal pharmacy background. They started Florida Stem Cell Research based out of Naples, Florida. Yep. They had the thing that I like about their product is they worry about the patient first. They're not worried about the dollar amount, the bottom line. They worry about helping the patient. And by saying that there's nothing mixed in with that product other than the Wharton's jelly, which comes from the umbilical cord of C-section births, and a little bit of saline. There's nothing else in the product other than that. So
out to Uncle Mike. I love Uncle Mike Sciarra. Great guy, awesome guy, one of the best guys you'll ever meet. And really, really came to bat for me with you guys. So,
well, Uncle Mike said, yes.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Absolutely, absolutely.
When did they first come up with stem cells? Is this in the 10 years or how long?
Well,
I mean,
stem cells have been around in countries like Belize and Colombia for quite some time. Mexico, 10, 15 years. It's just amazing that the U.S. has this same technology, but the FDA, I mean, they'd rather someone get a $40,000 surgery than help somebody for $3,000 or $4,000. I mean, there's been professional athletes. Kobe Bryant won with his knee. I know one of my favorite football players growing up was Jim McMahon, even though I'm a diehard New York Jets fan. Jim McMahon from the 85 Bears, to me, I mean, I still wear headbands because of the guy, and I'm 40 years old, was one of my idols growing up. He couldn't walk, and I remember reading a story, seeing a sports century on him, where one of his good friends, Dave Dorson, had died, killed himself from the after effects of concussion and stuff like that. And I remembered him as a kid, but when I heard Jim McMahon had the same type of things, he had started going down to Colombia for exploratory treatments. And now if you see him at 60 years old, he's doing better than he was at 50 years old. And he's been getting those treatments in Colombia for 6 or 7 years. I would say, to answer your question, probably somewhere about 10 to 12 years, Colombia, Belize have been doing these procedures, and NFL players and NBA players have been taking advantage of it for a long time.
Did it actually, let me ask one more question, Andrew. Did it actually start, somebody told me this, and it's probably bull. Did it actually start in Germany they started experimenting back in pre-World War II, or is that bull?
I've heard stories like that. I've heard stories. I mean, obviously there's no way for me to be able to verify any of that. Right. I would have liked, I mean, my 2 grandfathers have passed many, many years ago, both World War II veterans. I wish they were alive to see this type of stuff so I could ask myself, because I have heard similar stories from people saying that, like I said, I don't know if it's a myth. I don't know if there's any truth from it, but I have heard it before.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Well, supposedly the German scientists were working on that when they were trying to create the Ubermensch, a Superman of in the day. They were experimenting. Unfortunately, with a lot of victims were the prisoners of war that they worked on. So
and all those guys. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to know what my grandfather said about what did my grandfather used to say about Germany?
What?
They weren't so tough when him and his buddies got over there.
True.
Yes.
But what I would say before too is when Mike started the stem cell company, they had no customers. They had no patients. I should say patients. They're not customers. They're patients. They had no patients. They had worked with a couple of doctors. He had said to me, "Can you go to some of the people you work with already and can you have them try our product? Give them a sample. Now, I had done a little research, and out of the 8 manufacturers, him being the 8th, not one of the other 8 would put their money where their mouth is and send a doctor a free sample of product. Well, Mike, John, and Robbie, they wanted to show they could help people. They sent out samples to every doctor who had any qualified doctor. They were able to qualify that was a pain management doctor, an orthopedic, or anything. They sent the product out free of charge. And we had so many customers from it, just saw the results. Anybody I was sending to these doctors were having great results. I said to my father, listen, you're not getting any younger. You saw the results from the stem cells. I saw the results from the stem cells. Why don't we partner up? Obviously from coaching high school wrestling for 20 years, I have a ton of contacts from coaching high school football for 3 years, from being involved in my town, being involved with sports, knowing guys like you, knowing NFL players I'm friends with. I said, there's not 2 better people that should start a practice doing this stuff. So fast forward to January 4th, 2021. We opened up originally in the world famous Strong and Stapley Gym. I know you've been there.
For New Jersey, baby.
That's right, baby. The legendary Bob Bottom, God rest his soul, he just passed a couple months ago. Love that guy. And then the new owner, Paulie, who's Paulie DiRobertis, has kept the same traditions Bob had, and he let us in the gym. Obviously, it wasn't a long-term home for us. It was a very small space. We had some great patients, some of the great bodybuilders and powerlifters in the area came to see us, as well as NFL players, wrestlers, so forth, so on. We opened up down the street, 71 Union Ave in Rutherford. You could literally throw a rock from the one location to the next. I mean, it's literally a couple blocks right up the street, and you walk out in the parking lot, you see Jet Life Stadium right up the street there, where the Jets and Giants play. Right up the road there. So I mean, it's been good, and we've been growing. We're already taking.
Hold on a second. Did you just call that MetLife Stadium Jet Life Stadium?
Jet Life Stadium. We're Jets fans.
Yeah, I'm a Jets fan, so I'd like to say deepest condolences to both.
Listen, let me show you my basement for 2 seconds. New York Stock Exchange here. New York Stock Exchange here. So,
That's love, ladies and gentlemen. That's love.
Hey, listen,
we're going to shoot forward now to June of 2021, and I come in. I came in to see AJ on. He got me an appearance for the Hasbrook Heights.
Yeah. So, Hasbrook Heights football coach Brian Illey, Coach Dimitri Ford. I remember a couple years ago you came when Coach Adam Bear, Coach Cal's over there. But Coach Illey being a huge wrestling fan, Coach Dimitri Ford, huge wrestling fan. When I told him I was able to get you to come down and talk to the kids camp, they loved it. And obviously you saw we had NFL players there. We had everybody speak. When you have a group of kids, 6th grade and under, they ask you more questions than anybody else combined, I'd say, for the rest of the week. And you're the biggest, scariest guy out of all of them. But they had a great, I remember the kid, how many times have you been powerbombed through a table? I forgot what your answer was, but.
Would you powerbomb through the table?
Yeah, I remember asking how many times have been powerbombed through a table. I remember someone goes, "Ooh, that's a good question," but that was a good time that day. And obviously, we talked, and I think you came in the next week after that.
Yep, I came in, and I came in with New York Jet Wesley Walker.
That's right. So, give you a little backstory on that. So, one of my best friends played 17 years in the NFL. He never had a serious injury. His name's Tony Richardson, 10-year fullback for Kansas City Chiefs. He's in the Kansas City Chiefs Hall of Fame. He played. He made the Pro Bowl also with the Vikings. Played a year for the Cowboys. The reason he left the Cowboys was they had the legendary Moose Johnson. That's before he went to Kansas City. He retired with our New York Jets, and he's actually the vice president. I want to say his title is, or I don't want to give him. He has something with the Legends Committee. I want to say he's the vice president NFL Legends Committee, and his boss Tracy's brother had the same injury as I. She goes, "Hey, I remember you telling me your friend AJ had bicep surgery and he had stem cells. Can we link him up?" So we treated the president, the NFL Legend president's brother. He had great results. And then Tony said to me, "Hey, listen, I got some friends of mine who would really, played. You might know, I've heard of him, Wesley Walker." And my eyes lit up. He's a all-time 2 leading receiver for the Jets. One of my idols as a kid. Went to Cal Berkeley. Very intelligent human being. His wife Barb was a sweetheart. We actually treated her as well. And he came down to see us, and we had a great time that day. Remember?
We connected. You and Wesley Walker, we really connected. And Wesley I think he got his knees done. He got his knees.
Yeah, it was a good thing about him was I don't even notice that day. Like his brain seemed pretty good. He was sharp as can be. His body injuries were his knees. which,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, I'm sure those guys would sign for their knees over their brains or you know, other stuff being real bad. But like I said, we treated his knees. He had a bad bone-on-bone injury. We used a 2 cc. We actually used a more concentrated solution, more like a stronger dose for his knees. His knees were such bad bone-on-bone. I remember, you know, you telling him, hey, you know, my injury is from 2004. And he looked at you and smiled. He goes, mine's from 1984.
84.
That was a long time. That's a long time ago.
Crazy. That's
So
crazy.
Angelo, let me interrupt you guys. So Angelo, for people who don't really understand how it works or how it's so much better than getting regular surgery and anything else, kind of give a background on how it works in the healing process and, you know, really rejuvenates the people who are getting this to their body.
Yeah. So there's 3 different ways to stem cells. You can get them from your bone marrow. People get it from like their hip or whatever. Very painful procedure. I'd never tried it. Don't want to try it. You can get it from your fat. The results I've heard, we've never done it in our office, but I do know a doctor. And what they'll do is they'll actually get the stem cells from your fat, spin it, they'll inject it back, and they actually use that as a cushioning effect. And then this doctor uses, for instance, she'll use what we use, and what my uncle company he has is they'll use the Wharton's jelly, which is located in the umbilical cord. We only get it from C-section births, no vaginal births. It goes through a million different tests. I can send it. I know Drew, we showed him the paper when we came to our office. It shows how crazy, how many tests. If there's one thing wrong with the cord, the whole cord is destroyed. So they actually take the Wharton's jelly. It's mixed with a very small amount of saline, and it's stored 80 below Celsius. The stem cells, 80 below Celsius.
Now, also tell me what exosomes are.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So exosomes, we actually have a patent on it. My uncle and his 2 partners have a patent on the exosome product. It's called lyophilization process. It's gone through. It's actually freeze dried and it gets reconstituted of 1 cc of saline. Everybody else's exosome has to be stored 80 below Celsius. The product they have can be literally stored at room temperature. It comes in, it looks like white pellets in a little small jar. They reconstitute. It's 100 billion exosomes up to one of those little bottles. You reconstitute it with 1 to 2 cc's of saline, mix it up, injected it right into the joint. And now you were saying how I remember the question about how does it actually heal? The exosome, I've been using more because, like, if you look at an ultrasound in your shoulder, you see all that inflammation. The exosomes are actually geared towards attacking inflammation. So, like for like a shoulder injury, like when you use the ultrasound on my shoulder, you see just you saw a ton of inflammation. That exosome actually attacks the inflammation. Now, Kevin, stem cells is more geared towards healing a tendon, healing that kind of stuff. So, like, we injected you, Drew, I think with both 1 cc of the VitaCell solution along with 1 cc of Cytocell, which is just a exosome product.
Give me 2 cc's of the exosomes, I think, because Uncle Mike doubled it up on me.
I think it might have. Yeah. So you got both. Yeah. You got the stem cell, which obviously helped heal the tendon. You got the exosome, which actually attacked the inflammation.
And tell him what I did a month later, like an idiot.
You went and lifted. How much did you lift? I remember you telling him like, well, you called me. You were honest still.
Deadlifted 784.
You know, we recommended he didn't. We recommended he didn't do that.
And what did your father say to me when I got in?
What did he call you? More? I forgot what he said to you.
Called me a son of a bitch.
Shithead. Which one? Come on. Yeah. I want to hear all of them. I mean, I know Kevin's got time for this, right? Look.
He looks at me and goes,
I'm sure if Drew was a little smaller, he would have said a lot worse things.
He says to me, son of a bitch. He goes, what the hell? He goes, you just fucked up. Freaking.
Why would you do that?
No, because I thought I felt so good. I went to the gym a couple of weeks later, and he says to me, he goes, you son of a bitch, you fucked up $10,000 worth of my fucking stem cells in you.
Well, so I will tell you this too. The stem cells and exosomes are great. We have a whole protocol we follow, which is a little different than everybody else. It's a long-term plan. We're not looking to just inject you. Like someone thinks it's similar to a cortisone shot, they're mistaken. We're looking to heal you full time. So we work with occupational therapists. Nothing against physical therapists. Love physical therapy as well, but occupational therapists are more hands-on. So I have a friend, Derek Cunningham, who actually works for us. We want you, we're getting stretched. We want you, that joint opened up. Like you'll see, like your shoulder. He worked you for a half hour, 45 minutes the day before. So it's a whole process. We want him working with you a couple times a week in the week before you get the injection. And we also want you obviously working a couple of days after the injection as well.
One of the things that I want to do for Kevin, when Kevin comes in, I want Kevin to receive the cup therapy. I want Kevin to receive the cryotherapy, and then I want Kevin to check his you would check like you check the vascular system for me. You check my the nerves.
Yeah, we could do the nerve test on him, and we could run blood work too, because we've actually treated, like for my father who had the strokes, we do a stem cell and exosome IV on him on top of the actually injecting into his hips so he can walk better. We actually do a stem cell exosome IV on my father every 3 to 4 months. He should go every month, but you know how it is. He's stubborn. It's hard getting him to do.
Yeah.
It's hard getting him to do stuff. So it's more or less Uncle Mike and I have to tie him down and shove the needle into his arm, so to speak. But we make him go, and I mean, you have to see his blood work at 69 years of age, and I'm sure he'd be really pissed off at me to tell you he's 69 now. His blood work at 69 was better than at the age of 50 when he had his first stroke. He went to go see his neurologist, and the guy says, "I don't know what you're doing to yourself. Whatever you're doing to yourself, keep doing to yourself." And actually, they've sent us a bunch of patients since. We've had results with that. We've been treating patients with MS with IV pushes. We've been treating patients with Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. One of the other things which I'm amazed, I learned a lot from a doctor from Spokane, Washington, a couple of years ago. Neuropathy. Now, neuropathy, I didn't really know much about it. I'm 40 years of age. Knock on wood. Hopefully, I don't have to ever experience that. But neuropathy, I had friends who one of my great friends, one of my best friends, Coach Ed Rozelle, suffered from neuropathy. And when I was with him as a doctor, they actually said that your goal when you have neuropathy is to go, like, he had no feeling in his foot. You know, you could drop a weight on his
numbness.
Yeah. So these exosome stem cells, they help you actually reverse the effects. They get you back to the thing where you feel pain. They get you back to the stages where you feel numbness. So we've been treating patients with neuropathy on a IV push, and then with a exosome as well in the IV, and then doing a full therapy program with their legs, strength of the legs, and everything. We've been having some really, really good results from with the neuropathy patients.
Okay, now AJ, we got to take a brief moment to pay the bills.
Got to hear from our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. So give us a couple minutes, and we'll see you.
The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite 4-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah. And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
Hey, kiddies, we are back with special guest, AJ Caprio.
AJ, we're going to play a little... I'm gonna bring up a name, and you're gonna tell me what you did for them with the stem cells. Okay?
Shoot.
Gangrel, Dave.
Gangrel, it's funny, dude. It was so great meeting him. My brother was in for Halloween in high school one year, so when you mentioned his name, it really brought a smile to my face. I believe we did his lower back. He walked into the office like literally walking like this, like side to side. I don't know if you could drill with your hand, maybe describe that. He was literally walking sideways. Like I'd never
he was walking on like he was crooked, like he was bent to the side.
Yep. We injected his lower back, I believe L4, L5 region, as well as his hip. I think they also put an injection into his psoas muscle. He had problems with his psoas, which wraps around front to back of your body. I know, obviously with that. And then, I mean, a couple of weeks later, what did we see him? 2 months later at his wedding. And I just seeing him walk off the beach with his lovely bride, and him saying how much it, I mean, he was wrestling before my dad even told him to go back to wrestling. So I'm posting 3 to 4 weeks later, him with his great school down there. Couldn't believe the results that he had.
Now, another name, Jenny Santana.
We did both of her knees. I mean, Jenny too, like if you look at her, beautiful girl, but I mean, beautiful person on the inside as well. She's a world champion jiu-jitsu brown belt, and as well as obviously becoming a professional wrestler now after years of being a world champion in jiu-jitsu. Both of her knees were shot. She texted me the other day. We injected a 1 cc of the stem cell with 1 cc of the exosome product in both of her knees. Her one knee being way worse than the other one. she actually that night, and I don't know if she wants me to blow up her spot, but another one. She was supposed to go home and relax. I think she took her her daughter and her friend out to see the Christmas tree in New York City that night. It was right around Christmas time. And still a couple weeks later, she was texting me, I can't believe the results I'm having. She actually texted me last night. We were bullshitting for a while. And she was saying, I can't believe how good my knee feels. I want to get my shoulder done. I was like, stop inventing injuries to have. Obviously, we don't want you to be injured, but yeah, we'll barely treat your shoulder. But she said how good her bad knee felt. I remember you seeing her that day. She limped into our office. She limped when we went to dinner the night before. And I mean, she was just singing our praises about her knee. You know, she was telling me about it. She's told a bunch of people about it. I think on her Instagram. I mean, obviously posted about it on Instagram and everything. But we get phone calls from people. How'd you hear about us? Jenny Santana. I asked Jenny, you know this guy? No, I don't know. But they must have saw it on her Instagram page. So I mean, obviously, we're happy she got the results she has, and people are reaching out to us from all around the country since she's posted.
Now we talked about the wrestlers. We talked about the football players. We're going to talk about the celebrities. A famous person in a famous wrestling movie. Shoot.
Oh, dude, talk about becoming friends with guys that you like. The Vision Quest is one of my top three favorite movies. I became friends with Shoot. I met him a couple of years ago at a Beat the Streets event, which is raised money for inner city wrestling in New York City. Became friends, stayed in touch on Facebook. It's probably 10 years now. And we just, he's a holistic medicine doctor out in California, lives in Carmel, California. Very active tennis player, very active athlete. He's actually about 60 years of age now. We got in touch. He saw the thing about stem cells. We linked up. He flies in from California to learn from my father, and we actually learned a lot from him about holistic medicine. We treated his lower back when he was by us. We treated both of his knees. We treated his wife. He was singing our praises when he went to go play tennis. He's like, AJ, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about playing tennis. I like betting on it once in a while, watching on TV, but I'm sure it's probably very taxing on your knees. He was talking to me about how great he felt. Him and his wife went and played doubles a couple weeks after we did there. We sent him samples out to California. He injected himself. Then he flew out to see us a couple months later, and we actually treated his lower back. And he's you mentioned Gangrel, Jenny Santana, both great people. Shoot, the same thing. Shoot came, spoke to the high school I coached, Paramus Catholic Wrestling. Great guy. Talked to the kids about wrestling, and also talked to the town I'm from, Hasbrook Heights. Another great group of guys. Talked to them about everything. I mean, he didn't want anything. Just he was just so happy to talk about the movie and that kind of stuff. And I mean, honestly, he was talking about the stem cells as well. So listen, you guys got to take care of your bodies and do the right thing. But he was another great guy. Glad we met him. Talking to him every day.
Speaking of Paramus Catholic High School, you actually got me to come back after about 30 years to my alma mater.
Yeah, dude, we came. You missed. We had our first state. The program's been around for 52 years. Had our first state win actually against my old school, which I was at a long time. Still love the Play State Beaters. We beat them in our first state win. Number 4 versus number 5 in the state was a quarterfinal match. That's how good the group is. Just like Bergen Catholic, Del Barton, and St. Joe's. Beat them for our first ever state win, 33-29. And we have all 14 guys going to regions. Have a busy weekend this weekend. We have the regional tournament in Mount Olive, and then we have the state tournament in Atlantic City next week. So, it's funny. Shoot just sent us a nice video, which the guys looking for.
I'll do the same. I'll send you one tomorrow from them.
Please. The kids will love it.
I love my alma mater. It was great. It was so surreal back there, Now, Kevin, I want you to tell AJ, because you're going to be coming in very soon. You're going to be coming in March. So, Kevin, tell AJ about what's going on with your knees and your feet.
It isn't so much mine. I got one bad knee, but it's my shoulders. I used to power lift and all that crap, but I can't even get my hands above my head anymore. They're frozen. And
that's from probably back in your varsity squad days.
Yeah.
I was just watching some of those matches the other day. We treat shoulders pretty much more than anything else.
Okay. My shoulder.
Shoulders. What they will probably do is, obviously, if you have a recent MRI, we'll take a look at the most recent MRI. We'll also have I know your buddy Drew Ortiz, one of your favorite guys, best ultrasound guy I've ever seen. He can find literally targets where the most inflammation is. I've never seen anything like it. Him and my dad are a great team.
What do you do with my wrist?
Wherever both. Yes, I remember when you did your wrist. We'll do both of your shoulders right in the office. Have him find out where the most inflammation is. Let's see if there's any tears in there, and we'll inject you right in the office.
Sounds
AJ,
great.
do me a favor and let everyone know how they can reach you, whether online, a phone
Yeah,
number,
so
a website.
our office number is 551-285-4250. Our Instagram page is Integrated Pain Management. Actually, the girl who runs the state of New Jersey wrestling, Rachel Daddio, runs the page for me, does a great job. Integrated Pain Management. She does a good job with I know Facebook. I can't really I don't even know what Twitter is. I've never used it. She's teaching me about Instagram. Like I've logged into it a few times, but Rachel runs the page. She does a good job putting all our athletes on there, from whether it be a professional athlete or whether it be like like I said, a local high school person. But like I said, they can call the main office 551-285-4250. You can also, my email is ajc@intgpain.com, ajc@intgpain.com. And like I said, we'll see everybody from a JV athlete who plays sports for fun to, like I said, someone who played in the Super Bowl. We treat everybody. We love everybody.
Contact the reinforcer Andrew Anderson right here. Contact me on my Facebook page or through Monty and the Pharaoh, and we'll take care of business. Actually, honest, we got to tell them now. We're going to break the news. Integrated Pain Management is going to be one of the sponsors for In the Dungeon with Andrew Anderson, Kevin Sullivan, and Matty Rock.
Right. Can't wait. I just need one of those cool T-shirts and one of those cool banners.
You're going to get it, baby. You're going to
get whatever you want. You're going to get whatever you want, my friend. You put me back on the map. You healed my wrist. You healed my shoulder. I came back again in December. In November to got my second round of treatments in my shoulder, and my shoulder's back to snuff. I actually did light shoulder presses today with
you just brought up a good point.
Oh.
Drew said the 784-pound deadlift. I know it's obviously big, strong guy. The story makes well, but most of these guys here aren't able, or they said they've probably never done a 384-pound deadlift. Most of our athletes. One of the things with the strength program we like to do after is I like pushing a lot of guys to a lot of the Nautilus machines. Arthur Jones invented Nautilus. The Mensa brothers, Casey Vider, big Nautilus guys back in the day. Nautilus machines are very smooth on your joints. I've literally have not lost any size and stayed the same size I am. Barely train with free weights anymore. Like I picked up a pair of 135-pound dumbbells to bench the other day. I said, "What am I doing?" I put them down, jump right back on the hammer strength incline press. If you actually give your body a time to heal and get back in doing some, like I said, do some machines, nice cadence, 4 count up, 4 count down, a little bit of a hold. I mean, it's a whole life change. Like I notice now at 40 years of age, I can't go out like benching 405, benching 495. Isn't going to really do anything for me. So just listening to your body and going out and doing the right thing when you get to the gym.
Yeah. Kevin.
It certainly sounds like they have the solution, the fountain of youth. Can't wait to get up there. And your record is impeccable. You got athletes from, like you said, junior high to Super Bowl. It doesn't come any better than that. Congratulations.
I got such a great story for you. So a couple of my good friends, there's a town, a high school, Delsey Regional High School. I couldn't even draw. It's in Franklinville, New Jersey, right by the state of Delaware. This kid, Luke Maxwell, football player, quarterback, javelin thrower, hadn't wrestled in 2 years. 2 years, 3 torn labrum surgeries. We treated him with stem cells. Now the team states are different than the individual states for New Jersey. Delsey was a heavy underdog. He clinched the match in a state championship, the first state championship in many years for his school after not wrestling for 2 years, and he beat a state place winner to do so 2 weeks ago. I called up his father. We sent the money to drink at the bar. I said, he goes, "What's this for?" I said, "Trust me, we're going to advertise the shit out of your son, so enjoy the drinks at the bar on us." I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, holy shit. This guy hasn't wrestled in 2 years. He's clinching the state championship for his team down there.
It's amazing.
And AJ, I think it's important that we all remember, guys, gals, you don't have to be a professional athlete.
No.
You're somebody who's suffering in a lot of pain, and you need the quality of your life to be better. Think about being able to do something like this over surgeries, over taking all these pills and other types of pain management that can lead to other issues that we've all heard about. This is
work with
really specialized stuff.
One of the things I forgot to mention too is I know, like I was talking with Drew all day, like what T-shirt I wanted to wear. Like I got an extensive 80s pro wrestling T-shirt collection. I'll show you some of them. Some Don Morocco shirts, Lex Luger, Hercules, some old pay-per-view shirts from the 80s. And I was going to wear my Red Rooster shirt. And then we have the New York Police Department powerlifting club comes into our office. You know, the guys who keep us safe in New York City, you know, even though that old jabroni mayor that they have didn't take care of these guys are just such great individuals. And one of the gentlemen was supposed to come for treatment today at our office, and he called me up and AJ said, AJ, one of the guys, you know, one of our cops who's on his force, you know, he's his superior, was actually just shot and he wasn't able to make it. The guys survived. He's in the hospital right now. So I said to him, you know, it's an easy decision. I'm wearing my New York City strength and powerlifting shirt for the New York PD for these guys.
Good for you.
Appreciate everything that they
and his family, man.
You know, everything that they do. And like I said, his thing, like I said to him, I'm like, you know, I texted him, I was busting his balls. Like, how come you didn't come in today? And then he tells me, oh, you know, one of my guys got shot. It puts everything in perspective. And like I said, we thank them for trusting us with the guys who keep us safe. You know, we treat many firefighters, many first responders, many teachers and everything. And like I said, the fact that we have the New York City Police Department and these guys are big dudes. I wouldn't want to get arrested by them. You know, they having their respect and have them as our patients. It means a lot to us, and to us it means we're doing something right if we have these guys by us. So I apologize for Drew for not wearing his shirt. I apologize to my wrestling program, Paramus Catholic, that I love, for not wearing their shirt. I apologize to Hasbrook Heights Football, which I also love, not wearing that shirt.
The wrestling team shirt. I'm wearing a
yeah. But it's all about the New York City Police today, and God bless the gentleman who was shot today.
I'm wearing a pigeon, yo.
I
got a pigeon. Yeah.
I think pink's your color, I think.
Yeah. Hey. Oh, stop. Hey, yo.
Homage to Kevin Sullivan right here. Kev, I'm wearing your shirt.
I like that.
Kevin, it's actually your shirt. He stole it because he's a jerk.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what, Kevin, you know who AJ looks like? AJ looks like if Ted Arce had sex with Hercules Hernandez and he popped out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to tell you a funny thing about that. In my house, I got two daughters, so they play with Barbies. I got a Barbie dream house behind me. We don't have any Ken dolls. Barbies, the three boyfriends they had today were Macho Man Randy Savage, Corporal Kirchner, and Ted Arcidi. And I said to her, she only picks guys with long hair and a beard, which I guess, you know, she takes, you know, maybe she picks figures that look like her father. Billy Jack Haynes, another one of her favorites. And I noticed today, like every one of the Barbie's boyfriends have long hair and a beard. So it's funny how she has them walking around with Barbie. She has Billy Jack Haynes driving the car, and she has Barbie and shotgun. I thought it was, you know, for her, like that's normal behavior, I guess, to her.
I see a lot of Barbie pregnancies coming in the future.
Yeah.
Hey, Kev.
Those guys were on a lot of shit, so I don't know if they're getting anybody pregnant.
Hey, Kev, AJ has one thing in common with you and I. He has a very, 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 very sweet tooth for Jameson.
Oh my God, I love Jameson.
Are you a cigar guy too, bro?
I like cigars. Yeah, I do like cigars. The biggest thing now is like I'll smoke them if I go away or anything, because like my daughter will complain that they smell bad if I come back on the house. I can take a shower after smoking one of them. But I do really, really enjoy cigars, especially on way on vacation at the beach. I love smoking them. But I'm a big bourbon guy. I used to drink vodka, and I don't know, since the last couple of years, my brother drinks bourbon. Whenever you go to his house, he'll have different bottles of bourbon. To me, I mean, you know, like I said, I'm not fancy. I drink Rolling Rocks and Bud Heavies. But if I go to his, you know, I'm getting bourbon guy. Big fan of Knob Creek, Woodford Reserve, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Angels Envy. Yep.
If you ever get down to Kentucky, like I'm a big horse racing guy too. I've been down to Kentucky quite a few times. Well, 3 times I've been to the Derby. Actually, 4 times I've been to the Derby. I like going to, like I said, those bourbon places down there are fantastic. If you ever get an opportunity,
yeah, you get to do the bourbon tour, man. As a matter of fact, as Kevin and Andrew already know, we're going to start up. We do these barn smokers for Drew Estate, and Kentucky's one of our locations out in Hopkinsville. So literally you get to watch a cigar from the farm to finished product. And of course, awesome. there's bourbon there, and you're on the bourbon trail. So those are some things to drop to you guys.
Sign an autographs at one of these events. Which one are we?
So I got to send you guys all the dates and everything else, but there's Connecticut, there's Pennsylvania, there's Kentucky, there's Orlando, and then there'll be the big ass bad boy in Texas. So,
and AJ, you can come down with us. You can come with us, and we'll do a live bourbon blog.
Got you covered, dudes.
Oh, I bet. That'd be fun about after. I mean, Drew, you saw we were down in Florida a couple weeks ago. How much I mean, how much we drank. I don't want to throw anyone else under the bus. I'm surprised those two guys drank more than we did because I said we must have drank 25 drinks for shit face, and these two guys drank more than us. You know, we're similar size, a little bit smaller, and they were still standing somehow. I've never seen them before.
And they were drinking kamikazes. I'm not going to throw who it was under the bus, but they were.
Well,
they did a lot of kamikazes.
You light the perpetrator's piss on fire, so that's how you can tell.
This has been very eye-opening, and you're doing great work, and you're doing great work in your community. Keep it up, AJ.
Thank you very much. It means a lot coming from you, brother. It means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We can't wait to treat you.
I can't wait to get treated either.
Take you out for some good food. Drew will tell you.
Yeah.
Every time he comes for a procedure, he winds up gaining 5 pounds just coming to eat with us.
Yeah.
We go.
And then
we
you
go
get free entertainment if you
Italian
sing in
food.
the restaurant.
Tell him what I said in the restaurant.
I don't know what song he sung. It was
Big
fucking
Bob.
funny as shit. We took him to Leo's in Hoboken, one of our old school spot. Leo and his wife are gone many years. They're both my dad's patients from back in the 80s. I want to say they died maybe around early 1990s. And we went there on like a Tuesday night. It was pretty dead. But Drew wound up serenading everybody with a wonderful song. They're used to Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin's on the old school jukebox. But, Drew serenaded everybody with a very good song.
You have any stem cell stuff to fix those people's ears that had to deal with that shit?
The people that were around at that time when he was singing, they were fucking 3 sheets to the wind. So
all right, that's just fine. They were good.
I think we would.
That's being New Jersey good. You good?
If they were 3 sheets to the wind, we were at least 5 in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I heard the APBs from the police radios in Hoboken that night. Yeah, it's kind of accurate. All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Much love to everybody. AJ, thanks for being our guest. Much love, Monty and the Pharaoh. We appreciate y'all. And we will see you next week, same time, same place. Peace out, folks.